Fan theories of Cinderella. Hello viewers, howdy. Welcome to the most fascinating fan theories of the Disney movie Cinderella. 1. Cinderella is a member of a fairy family. We all know Cinderella's godmother came to transform her into the princess. But do you know she was a member of a fairy family? Cinderella, or just Ella, is half human, half fairy. Being born after her mother, a fairy fell in love with her father, a human merchant. As such, due to her fairy blood, so possesses some latent magic, for example, pulling a cloud from the sky and turning it into cartoon as a baby, causing things in her room to move or come alive as a child, and of course, she has a fairy godmother. Her name Ella literally means beautiful fairy. Cinderella, who is a nickname cruelly given by her stepsister and stepmother, is also an insult to her strange and yet dirty appearance after he turns to the fire. In the live-action fairy tale, Maleficent, who was played by our beloved actress Angelina Jolie, is a fairy herself, coming from a fairy kingdom beyond the human realm. In the woods beyond the human kingdom, in it, Maleficent herself acts as almost a fairy godmother to Princess Aurora, along with other Cinderella parallel. Princess Aurora, the Sleeping Beauty, mistakenly assumes Maleficent to be her fairy godmother, as the latter had been watching out for her since she was little. So the Princess Aurora doesn't know about her curse or the person who cursed it. Therefore, as Cinderella is stepdaughter of Maleficent, she became a family member of fairies. 2. Disney's Cinderella is one-sided story told by a narcissistic, pathological liar. The story of Cinderella starts with the young girl with a very wealthy father who dies, and so her stepmother raises her as her own, even with all of the wealth from her deceased father and the charity from her stepmother. Cinderella is still the victim in the story. From Cinderella's point of view, her stepmother is wicked for making her do household chores, and her sisters are evil for living in the house that is rightfully hers. This kind of perspective is exactly what you would expect from an entitled child who was given everything they wanted, then was suddenly expected to do chores and share. I think if the stepmother told her side of the story, she would say that he was only giving Cinderella's reasonable amount of chores to help around the house and to build a healthy work ethic. Cinderella was often locked in her room and forced to clean up after her sisters. Parents often send their emotional teenagers to their room or give them chores if they are being an absolute fail. This sort of punishment is not unreasonable. Cinderella was not allowed to go to the ball. Once again, not an unreasonable punishment. If she has been defiant and unwilling to do her chores, she most likely stole money from her stepmom to buy new dress and shoes and snuck to the ball. Of course, she had to be home by midnight to beat her stepmother home, so she didn't get caught when she was found out. She made up a fantastical story about a fairy godmother, pumpkin, etc. The story ends with the prince falling in love with her because she is just naturally far more beautiful than every other girl. That's exactly how I would expect the story to end if told by a narcissistic, pathological liar. 3. Why Cinderella's glass slipper does not disappear. In one part of the movie, there is a scene where the clock strikes 12 and Cinderella is running down the stairs and she loses a slipper. A lot of people like to point out the flaws in that scene. Usually, the question ranges from how is the dancing in glass and it never works. Why does the slipper fall off her if they were supposed to be perfect for her? Today, we are going to be focusing on the second question. Why does her slipper fall off her feet if they were perfect for her? If you watch the original Disney movie, you notice that she is with the prize when the clock strikes 12. She is running down the stairs as it strikes 12 and said the second time when she loses her slipper. The reason the slipper falls off her foot is because the magic deteriorates. This isn't just on the slippers. This is everything from cars to horses to progress, etc. The reason we can see it happen so fast with the slipper is because they are so small compared to the rest of her outfit. They don't need a lot of magic to exist. The reason why they never disappear like the rest of her outfit is because when they become separated, their power weakened. Neither slipper had enough magic to disappear, so they remained. The reason they didn't fit anyone else's foot piece at Cinderella is because Cinderella's had fish lemons or flat feet. All the people who tried to her slippers got feet that looked like they were so long, making it like it doesn't fit. Also, I would like to point out that in a kingdom of that size, it is impossible to find someone else who has both flat feet and wears the same size shoes as Cinderella. 4. Lady Tremaine is a black widow. It's more of a bedcanon than anything else, and I admittedly don't have much evidence, but yeah, you have to admit that it is a kind of odd that Cinderella's father, who looked perfectly healthy in the movie's intro, suddenly fell deathly ill after marrying her. My theory: Lady Tremaine poisoned him for his fortune. She did the same to Anastasia and Grizzly's father, which is why he isn't in picture anymore. I am guessing she either squandered his money or she got greedy, so she set her sights even higher and seduced Cinderella's father into falling in love with her. She didn't kill Cinderella as well, though I'm sure she had plans for the future to avoid making herself suspectable. 5. Falling off the slipper was a part of a plan of Fairy-Godmother. The slipper remained behind because the Fairy-Godmother specifically designed them that way, and furthermore, she also magically made them with the capability to expand their size, so at the stroke of midnight, so they would fall off Cinderella's foot as she ran away. You see, I think being Cinderella's Fairy-Godmother, she showed to help Cinderella beyond just sending her out for one night of dancing. The Fairy-Godmother wanted to help Cinderella get out of abusive situation with her step family, and the best way to do this was to get her married to the prince, but she had to make sure that Cinderella was as alluring and memorable as possible, and what's more alluring than a mysterious girl who leaves behind an even more mysterious slipper. Plus, given that Cinderella is likely set in France, which is a pretty big country, and many young women Cinderella's as have the same physical build as her, it is absolutely ridiculous to assume that she would have a completely unique shoe size. Yeah, the shoe comes in sizes. 6. Cinderella is a bastard child. The stepmother's husband had an affair with another woman, thus having this his child that is Cinderella. The stepmother knew about it, but her husband took Cinderella is as one of his own without the stepmother's consent, which leads to why that detests Cinderella so much, because whenever she sees her, it's reminded that her husband has committed adultery with Cinderella's real mother while still married to two daughters. 7. Cinderella is her own Fairy-Godmother. Have you noticed Cinderella and the Fairy-Godmother do look similar in the face? Fairy-Godmother is just a little older and had added a little weight with age. I think she was thinking about how she can change the life she had. I mean, like a servant in her own family, she just wanted to escape from her stepmother and sisters, so she created her own Fairy-Godmother in her imagination. Her own imagination gave her to call Fairy-Godmother to help her in her own goal. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button below, and please don't forget to share this video with your friends.